All right, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about how some problems are more difficult to solve by completing the square. So I'm going to show you a new way, a special formula, instead of doing completing the square. Because we know some of them were like, okay, they're not factorable. I can't factor by that. And then we have some of them where completing the square is too hard, because I can't pull out the same like term from them. So we're going to talk about how to solve my equation using completing the square to come up with a perfect formula, which will work every single time for finding the roots or the x-intercepts. Okay, we went from y equals a squared, ax squared plus bx plus c, to 0 equals ax squared plus bx plus c.
Equals 0.
So the first step would be to set it equal to 0. Okay. So the first step was to set it equal to 0. Our second step was to subtract c. It's very similar to completing the square here, what we're doing, but we're doing it without numbers to show our new formula. That's going to be much easier to use. Next, we're going to divide by a. Okay, the next thing we do.
Hold on. It had a button on it.
Okay, the next thing we do is we made a box. And we took half of a over b to the x of b over a to the x and found the missing box. No, because I am in the way, but I will move. Okay, so we took b over a, we took half of it. So that's the same thing as we take b over a times it by 1 over 2, we get b over 2. Okay? So that's b over 2a. So that's what these are right there. Okay? We know we got b over 2ax, which is exactly what we want. And then we multiplied them together. B over 2a squared. What's b over 2a times b over 2a? What do we get? B times b is?
B squared.
Okay, 2 times 2 is?
4a.
Squared. All right, let's turn to the next page. Okay, so we added b squared over 4a squared to both sides. Added b squared over 4a squared to both sides of the equation. This is just for to figure out what the formula is. You will not have to do this for every single problem. Once we get to what the formula is, you'll only have to plug it in for there. Okay? But I want to show you where the formula comes from. Then, find the factored form of one side.
I'll get it after this.
Okay. Luckily, you got me here to explain. Okay, so right here is in standard form, so we figured out the factored form. Okay, that's what that is right there. How do you, we've got b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. So I've got two fractions. How do you make fractions go together for minusing and subtracting? What has to be the same? The denominator. So we multiply the c over a by 4a times both sides. Multiply 4a over 4a times negative c over a. Okay? That gives us 4ac, negative 4ac, over 4a squared. So those match, and then we combine them. Okay, how do you get rid of a square sign? Square root. These are the same thing. These two right here. One of it's before I combine like terms, and one's as if after I combine like terms. Okay? Same thing. And then what do I do next? What's 4a? If we've got 4a squared on the bottom, can we find the square root of that? What's the square root of 4? 2. What's the square root of a squared? So that's how we got 2a right there on the bottom. We'll call it the denominator because that's on the bottom. Okay, that might not be spelled right, but I tried. Okay, we ready for the last page, guys? And we're going to find out what this formula is. Okay. Okay, we subtract b over 2a from both sides. And then we combine like terms. So we moved the negative b over 2a, it became because we subtracted it from both sides. And then we combine like terms. So they both have 2a on the bottom. So it just becomes negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. How can we use this information to find the x values in the quadratic equation? What is this whole equation equal to? Okay. We plug in a, b, and c into the equation. And we will find the roots.
You have to do all the steps for one problem.
Nope. Well, we're going to go back to completing the square level 4. And I am going to show you some ways to be able to do this. All right. All right. I'm going to do number 1, but I need more space than this. I am doing number 1 on completing the square level 4. All right. So before we do anything, can you tell me what the A, B, and C are for this?
2x, 3x, and negative
2, 3, and negative 8.
No.
The values are only the letters. Okay. We're going to use this new equation. It is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? Yep. I am going to show you how to do it without the calculators, and then we'll get out calculators and practice with. Okay? Let's make sure we can do this without the calculator. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to replace all these things with the new letters. Everybody should have this written down. Not to wait.
Why is it -3, which is 3?
Okay? Because look what's in front of here.
Oh.
So I brought that negative down. I brought the plus or minus down. This -4, the squared, all over this, the 2. Okay? All right. Let's do underneath the square root sign first. Mark, are you writing all of this down? Okay. All right. You can do it on the back if you want, and then we can just write the answers on the front. Okay. Let's do under the square root sign first. So I'm going to rewrite everything else. Okay. What is 3 squared? 3 times 3 is? There you go.
What is 3 squared?
3 squared. Okay. Now I'm going to do this part. What's 4 times 2? What's -4 times 2? What's -8 times -8?
Alright, so I was
Positive.
that down, but where'd you get the 9 from?
64. Hold on 1 second, I will back up for you there. Okay. So right here I did 3 squared, right? That's how I got the 9. Okay? And then I did -4 times 2 times -8, and that's how I got the 64. What is 9 plus 64? 3. 73. Okay. Now this is the time when we would find the square root of 73. So I think this might be the time when you need your calculator. If it's a nice perfect square like 49, you wouldn't need it.
8.5.
I get 8.5 as well. So I get -3 plus or minus 8.5. What is 2 times 2? 4. Okay, this is when we split it. We've got -3 plus 8.5 over 4. And -3 minus 8.5 over 4.
What did you do? You split 73 in half and got 8.5.
No, I found the square root of it.
Oh.
Okay. So now I go -3 plus 8.5. Then I press equals. Then I divide by 4. And I get x equals 1.375. And then you get x equals, we've got -3 minus 8.5 equals divided by 4. And what do we get? -2.875.
What?
Do I need to back up for anybody? Want me to explain what I did again?
Yes.
Do you want me to do it from the beginning?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go from the beginning. It'll pop back up again. All right. How do we feel about plugging it into the formula? Okay. We know that we've got A is 2, B is 3, and C is -8. Then we just plug it in. We've got B here, so instead we've got 3. B here, so we've got 3. A here, so we've got 2. C here, so we got -8. A here, so we got 2. So that gives us -3 plus or minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times -8 all over 2 times 2. Okay? Then we found 3 squared. That gave us 9. That was the only step we did. The next step was we did -4 times 2 times -8. We got positive 64. We got 9 plus 64 is the square root of 73. And we got 2 times 2 on the bottom of the fraction is 4. Then we split it. We got -3 plus 8.5. And we split it because of this right here, the plus or minus sign. So we've got a plus here and a minus here. And we've got x equals 1.375 and x equals -2.875. Those are the roots. You're done.